Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Talk Scottish Football.
I'd like to make a public statement.
You'd like to make a public statement.
I'd like to apologise on behalf of Talk Scottish Football for Div today. Decided to show up wearing a Juventus top, which I think
is terrible.
Scumbaggery of the highest order. So I'd like to apologise on behalf of me and Ryan.
Listen,
words will be had.
The outfit was picked before shit hit the fan. The top was 70 quid.
So you've been wearing this for 48 hours pretty much.
I've been thinking about this like the last couple of years, right? What am I meant to do? All the Man United tops I've got in there, right? I don't want anything to do with them. I'm never putting a penny in the club again if this goes through.
You're making me feel really bad now, Jesus.
It's poor.
I didn't even realise.
I couldn't find my Axe top.
Nah, I mean that would be fine. That would be acceptable.
I never knew we could represent, you know. So
well, see, to be honest,
a bit weird, isn't it? The guy hosting the show wearing a big Celtic top and a Lakers hat. I mean,
how
conflicted can you get?
Confused, yeah.
He's going to start talking about all this franchise pish and all that. They're trying to do,
but
exactly.
Fucking aye.
He's already
You're both scumbags.
He's already Americanised.
The NBA has been in the same position since it was started in the 50s, for God's sake.
You're just Americanised.
What about grassroots basketball?
Grassroots basketball. You've got your college. College basketball.
You don't care about the guys that play at the Emirates, do you? The Glasgow Rocks.
The Glasgow Rocks.
Aye.
Right, look, listen, let's
support your local.
I support my local, mate. What do you think I'm wearing
support
this
your local basketball team.
The Rocks.
Aye.
Who's their starting point guard? I did really well. I had to think of a basketball position, by the way. I was struggling as I said.
Who's a power forward?
It's a power forward. Christ, the Gimli.
No. LeBron McDonald.
So. James LeBron. Right, anyway, look, we're going to get into talk about what we have just kind of alluded to there in the Super League stuff and that. Let's start off with that. Now, I know this is Talk Scottish Football. Also, I'll throw in very quickly. This is the rebrand now. This is a new intro. I hope you liked it.
You better hope you find a bit of music that fits the intro then.
I know. Episode Season 3, Episode 1. Just to clarify. Season 3, Episode 1.
No, it's not.
Yes.
It's episode 55. Come on, just see how it is.
When we started Season 2, we didn't change the episode number back to 0, so it's only right we keep this going.
Okay, right, fine then. They know what episode it is.
And it's quite fitting that it's after Celtic have beaten Rangers in the Cup. Look at me, I'm going to get slaughtered.
You would say episode 1
Rangers, but I meant to, yeah. I did say Celtic beat Rangers.
You said Celtic beat, I was like, sorry.
This is an alternative universe.
Anyway, look, no, let's talk about Super League. Let's get on to the main things here. So, it looks as though, well, with every passing hour that this is becoming more and more of a certainty in football. It's very scary. I had my rant yesterday on YouTube. You were on Twitch as well. You've had your rant. But I sat down for 10 minutes just shouting at the camera, gave my thoughts and views. So as the host now...
That's something you do for every video.
You're fun. So now with the chance to kind of just open the dialogue and kind of observe conversation and maybe give in a couple of comments, I'll let you guys speak. Div, I mean, this is it. The death of football has arrived. We're now here at the funeral of the great sport that we know and love.
Well, that's what everybody's saying, isn't it? They're saying that the other day was the day that football died. And
I thought that was when Brendan Rodgers left Celtic
as
well.
Or when Shane Duffy appeared.
Right, okay.
But no, seriously, it's just a disaster, and it looks like, to me,
it's like catastrophe.
It's a catastrophe. It looks like they're not going to turn back on it, which is scary to me. I mean, Arsene Wenger said in 2010, I seen it getting pulled up, that there'd be a Super League, around about in a decade's time, and now it's came to fruition. And yeah, it's just an absolute disaster. The fact that they're going to have 15 founding clubs that can't be relegated.
Yep.
Perez, the Juventus chairman, was out the day basically saying, well, it's not a closed league because 5 teams can qualify, but 15 teams will always be there. I mean, that is just, it's an absolute shambles. It totally goes against what football's all about, to be honest. The other point as well was the fact that they want to have their cake and eat it, which usually I don't mind, but they want to play in this league, they want to go back domestically. Then it's totally unfair, because what they're saying is it they'll get £3.5 billion or something like that to spend in their infrastructure if they go into this league, and every year that they're in it they'll get 350 million, and that's just no fair on the rest of the clubs that they go back to and play. They're already ahead of them, because of what probably already been so a lot of these elite clubs have been given a free pass with UEFA for years in terms of the Champions League, so they've already got an upper hand. They want even more. They're greedy bastards, mate. That's what it comes down to for me.
Before I come to you, David, and we talk even more about this and we give more opinions, I'm sure we've all got a lot of things we want to get off our chest. There is some breaking news from the Times that at least one of the big 6 English clubs are now considering withdrawal from the new Super League after being taken aback from fan backlash. So, don't know what club it is, but there is an English club who is now considering withdrawing from the competition. But let's get back to the conversation.
That needs to be Liverpool or Man United.
It's got to be one of the two. They've got to lead the way in this.
Yeah.
They're the two clubs that lead this whole thing.
If Spurs,
I think it will be though.
No, I don't.
No,
I
think
think it needs to be.
City or Chelsea. I think it's
But I think if City or Chelsea back out, it will make a difference.
No.
Because this is built around Liverpool, Man United, Barcelona, Real Madrid. They're the big four.
Let me get back to what we're talking about. In terms of competition, this league, it eliminates competition. There's no competition in football. What are we doing here? You know, the whole point in the domestic competitions is to get into the champion. And yes, I think UEFA have been guilty of maybe rewarding failure as of recent. You're giving places to third and fourth place teams. If it was up to me, we'd be back to the old format, the champions of each nation. But it kind of just does eliminate the whole point. There's no relegation. They're going to be getting £3.5 billion. They're going to be getting £300 million every year. There is no competition here. It is purely a kind of a circus show for the best, for the elite. And it's, as the term has been thrown about, David, a closed shop.
It's I like what's mad is the fact that they're removing the pyramid from football. One of the things that gets you through football as a football supporter is the hope and the dream that someday you can make it to the peak level. Now, whether that be like, you look at West Ham this season, who have been fighting off relegation in recent years and now have a realistic chance to get to the Champions League. They've got a realistic chance of playing in the top competition in Europe, right? Mm-hmm. And see if they get there, they'll think, right, if we get a good group, we've got a chance to get in the last 16. See if they get through the good group. Wow, decent tie, and we can make it to the quarter-final. And realistically, as unrealistic as it might be, there'll be West Ham fans who'll be like, imagine we got nice draws, and there's the hope and there's the dream that maybe one day you could reach the absolute pinnacle. Yep. They're taking that away. That's the one thing, and it's the same at every level of football. So, like, Scotland going to the Euros this summer, we all have a hope that, God, maybe we get a result down at Wembley. Maybe if we beat Croatia at home, then we get a decent. You've got that hope that gets you through. Yep. They're removing that so that the top teams stay there, and there's not really much you can do about it. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely wild, and there's so many different avenues you can go into about why this is wrong. We've not even touched on fans yet.
You could make this an hour-long podcast in itself,
on each issue,
talking about this whole league. Look, the fact that Boris Johnson has responded to this quicker than he did the coronavirus shows you how much that this is meaning to the country.
Everybody spoke about it, to be fair.
Everybody's
condemned it.
You've got royalty. You've got
my gran messaged me this morning.
You've got your gran. Yeah. I was speaking to my dad last night. He was sick. It's unbelievable, and you've got people like Carragher and Neville who have been speaking so passionately, and you listen to everything they say, and you're listening, and the big cry and the plea that they've made out is we need to unify over this, and they're spot on. I think football fans from all clubs need to come together. You see the fans outside Anfield, right now, they've had their banners out, super grade against Liverpool Football Club and the owners and all the rest of it. We need more of this. Fans need to come together to stop this from happening. I don't know how much it's going to matter, because at the end of the day, you see the guys who are running this. Florentino Perez, does he care about the fans? No.
It's the sheer lies for people like this as well. They're in a world of their own, whereas it's about his money. It's all about profit. I think even a spokesperson for one of the clubs came out and said that it's about maximising profits for the club rather than in the secondary is football. There won't be a fucking sport if
the Glazers, Stan Kroenke, FSG, they are all cold-hearted, horrible businessmen who don't give a toss about what happens with us. You made a very excellent point, in the words of David Buick, a very excellent point before we came on today. If they were hosting a Manchester United-Liverpool game in Saudi Arabia next year without a Scouser or a Mankin there,
wouldn't care.
Don't care.
Nah.
They don't care at all. According to Florentino Perez, there's no fan between the ages of 16 and 24 who like football anyway.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
It's the people who like it the most.
Yep, exactly. So it's look, we could be here all day talking about this. I think at the end of the day, I'm hoping that the cracks will start to show. I'm hoping that clubs will start to think about withdrawals. Last night there was something said about the Serie A teams maybe thinking twice about it because they won't be able to compete in Serie A at the same time.
But regardless, even if they don't go ahead with this now, they will get a better deal at UEFA, so they will make more money off the back of this. It's as you said it before we came on, it's an absolute power play, and they will end up financially better off regardless of what happens here, which is an absolute disgrace, really.
Because the Champions League reforms coming into effect as well,
which is going to protect some of the top teams who might not even qualify.
That's just ridiculous. I can't believe it.
And the thing is, I've been saying this a lot. This started way back in the 90s with Sky and the Premier League and the Champions League. This is when it all started, and listen, I think we all knew that one day something like this was going to happen. COVID's...
Well, see, the thing is, I always thought it was just going to be one of those lingering questions. We go, what if?
But it's like the Celtic and Rangers going down south thing.
But it was never going to happen, I didn't think. And I didn't think this would.
Do you not worry that might not happen now?
Well, see, the thing is,
if something like this can happen, then that's
exactly.
anything can happen.
We've got the chance to preempt that.
I'm telling you right now, we're all getting high and mighty up here. If Peter Law was, if Dermot Desmond was asked the question, we'd be off. Celtic would be off. And I think the same with Rangers as well. £3.5 billion is Dermot Desmond's never going to.
Hold on, but not even that, right? Say the top teams break away and the Premier League down south ends up 14. The Premier League come and say Celtic and Rangers will offer you 100 million. They're fucking gone in a flash. No questions asked. They're off.
It doesn't sit well with me at all that you work for almost 150 years to achieve everything you have in this pyramid, to be at the top of this pyramid, to just throw it away. That doesn't sit well with me at all. I don't like it.
But that takes us back to who founded these clubs, you know, and who made them so great as well. You look at Liverpool, like Shankly and such, and it was it was founded by the working class.
Shankly be turning his grave at this.
I think of Matt Busby, think of Shankly. Like,
exactly, all these people that made these football clubs the institutions that they are today. And now these big billionaires for America and abroad are coming in and they're just absolutely tearing the heart out of.
They're trying to change from institutions to franchises.
And it'll never happen. And he's wearing the Lakers, so he's got a conflict interest here.
But just quickly on Monday Night Football last night, because it was the first real chance we got to see of a club that was involved, get asked stuff about the press. James Milner and Patrick Bamford were amazing post-match last night.
Klopp, I was very disappointed.
Well, here I'm coming to his defence here because
he can't expect him to come out and his job's there. He can't expect him to come out.
He was wrong to have a pop at Neville. He got that wrong.
That was victim.
But what I thought, but he is a victim though when you think about it, because he's having to face the criticism and the questions from his spineless owners who won't face the media. So he's had to have like the bus get greeted and all that kind of. It's got nothing to do with Jurgen Klopp or the players, but they will have to face the backlash. He got it wrong what he said about Neville, and Neville put him in his place. But Neville himself said they're on the same side.
Yep.
His back's against the wall. Everything that he's built, his team, his players are getting attacked, and there's nothing he can do about it. Anybody in that situation is going to get defensive and have a pot back because there's nothing he can do. He's just going to sit there and take all the criticism, and that's not fair on anybody. It'll happen to other managers. It'll happen to Solskjaer. Tuchel doesn't seem to give a fuck, to be honest.
Tuchel's saying I'm here to do it.
Doesn't really surprise me when he's going PSG, Chelsea. You know, we know where his ambitions lie. Although saying that, PSG haven't joined it, so fuck knows what happens there. It's only going to get worse. And the thing is, this has been a messy 48 hours.
According to Perez, they never asked PSG.
But that's one load of.
Because they said we never approached the German
clubs
when they clearly did.
Yeah.
Very interesting statement this morning from Bayern's CEO. I don't know if you've seen that. He was basically coming out and saying, that it's not good.
But the streets ahead of us in terms of how they prioritise, culture and the fans and everything.
That's what it comes back to, the fans.
Ultimately,
€15 tickets to watch Dortment.
And they also, I believe they pay for a lot of their fans to go to away games in the Champions League. A lot of these German clubs. So.
You buy your ticket to the game, you get your transport sorted. They look after the people.
Look, we could be here all day. Ultimately, I think that the fans have been attacked. Leeds put it well last night in the shirt. They had the shirt that was displaying a clear message. Look, there's only so much that we can do, we know that, but we need to try, and we'll see what happens. If you want to hear more on our opinions, then you know what to do.
We'll be talking about this throughout the week because it's not going away.
We've got live shows, there'll be developments. I made my video yesterday. David, you can go back to his Twitch as well and see his reaction.
We haven't even mentioned the Euros then.
And then the Euros, look, we'll
tell me Andy Robertson's happy.
We've got a live show tomorrow. We'll come on to that tomorrow. We've got a lot to cover. Let's talk about the real football. With your head in the hands, we can still do this, right? We can power through. At least Scotland, for now, remains untouched. So we'll try.
Hopefully there's no breaking news during this.
Imagine I just clicked on Twitter and all I seen was Celtic and Rangers agree to join Premier League amongst Super League rival. Anyway,
right. Fairmont in the Super League, you watch.
What?
European heritage. Thank you. I think I'm joking.
Merlin fucking Spurs.
See, before
Merlin Spurs.
By the way, I'm not even shitting you. Remember when PSG overturned that, or Barcelona overturned that deficit against PSG a couple of years ago? They were the first club to overturn a comeback like that in Europe since Dunfermline did it to Valencia back in the 60s.
There you go, there's
that.
I mean, Spurs and Arsenal and City. What have they fucking done in Europe? City? Manchester City?
Spurs?
I'm more offended at City, to be honest.
Spurs have never won a Premier League.
Right, look, we've got questions that will come in regards to this anyway. Let's move on. We've got a lot to talk about. So, you've kind of touched, obviously the new format's now underway here. Our Super League of Talk Scottish Football is underway. We've got our live shows. on a Monday and a Wednesday
and a
Friday, exclusive to YouTube. We've got the podcasts which are on a Tuesday and a Thursday that will be on Spotify and YouTube, and then of course the Championship show as well, which you will host on a Wednesday with Adam on YouTube.
Content is flying.
As well. Content is flying. Let's hope that we can keep
the
the motivation going until tomorrow's live show. We'll try and kind of move away from the Super League stuff, and let's talk about the football. Now, you touched yesterday on the Scottish Cup, so we'll kind of fly over now. We've got a Celtic and a Rangers fan sitting in the panel. Dev
did yesterday as well.
Celtic, oh that's right, so you did. Celtic, utter shite. Celtic are
utter shite.
And thanks for watching. We'll see you later.
Utter shite.
That's it, mate, innit?
That's it. Mate, honestly, I will
say I predicted that 2-0 under 2.5.
Yes, well, you did.
It shouldn't have been under 2.5.
Oh, well, fucking hell. It's Large that had two himself.
I mean, obviously, Rangers get the early goal. Stephen Davis's acrobatic effort. I mean, why was he even in the box? I don't know. Maybe that was why. Because he stuck it in the pokey
he just
magnificently.
I love Stephen Davis.
He was good again, and what he's doing at 36 years old is unbelievable, and he's still playing international. His body is a temple. It's an absolute
it's a
temple.
Do you know what it reminds me?
It's a Taj Mahal in Northern Ireland.
Kenny Miller. Don't disrespect Stephen Davis.
Davis has got levels, I think, on Kenny. But
Miller was
I know what you're saying.
40, man.
No.
I'd say Giggs, you know.
Giggsy.
Definitely doing the yoga.
Giggsy with that chest there. I think Davis got the chest there.
Hopefully he's not doing the things off the pitch.
I was going to say, there's a clear difference in the individual.
But no, I couldn't believe it. See, when it went in, and it took me a couple of seconds to realise it was Davis that scored it, and at first also I thought it was offside.
Why is nobody marking him?
He's just floated in. I think why is he there?
If somebody floats in the box, you pick him up.
Remember that video we seen?
Amateur stuff.
Well, you step up, actually, probably. Being a wee bit more organised at the back, step up. Because he's offside if you step up. So I don't know what they were doing at that point, but it was a great finish.
Before the game, I seen an incredible video, and it was Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar.
Oh, yeah.
And, and it was like every time. So Brock Lesnar's WWE champion at the time, and he used to get announced by Paul Heyman, be like, "The reigning, defending, blah blah blah." And they were saying Celtic, us when every time Celtic can see that set piece, it's just Paul Heyman going, defending, just screaming. And that's what I thought, you know, maybe we'll get our stuff together, maybe we'll get it together this time. I thought defensively we were getting a little bit better. Game after game, I think Stephen Welsh getting confident more in him, and I thought Kenny was doing okay. And then, you know, we look at Laxalt. Oh my God Almighty! He was
Rangers
were ripping the piss.
I've got to give credit to Joe Aribo as well, because I think this was a coming of age performance for him. He's been brilliant for Rangers in Europe. He's been good against other teams, but there was a question mark against Celtic. The last game there in December or January or whenever it was, he played in the midfield free, and it was a worry. And it showed, because Celtic overran Rangers. They were really good, and Big Joe wasn't great in this game. I thought he was superb, and as he said, Laxalt sent him to the shops numerous times, didn't he? And to touch on the 2 goals that Rangers scored as well, 2 from open play this time. So the previous 4 were obviously...
Didn't mean the defending was any better.
And it doesn't mean the defending was any better.
And the funny stat is Celtic have scored more goals into Celtic than scored into Rangers.
In Old Firms this season. That's insane.
Just quickly on Aribo though, because it was the one thing you mentioned when the question was asked about what position he'd improve. It's that right hand side for Rangers. You don't really know who fits in there, but Aribo kind of... I mean, he nailed that.
He was brilliant. He was brilliant in the game. So
just quickly breaking news. I thought it's not breaking, but it's quite funny. You see, Wolves have declared themselves 18, 19 champions. Southampton now 14, 15 champions. Very good.
Very good to see. Look, we're going to have a lot of chances to talk about things. I'm going to be on the Celtic the Thunder today as well, talking about Celtic side of the derby and where we now go from here. But now you look at Rangers should be going on to win this cup, you'd say. If you think that this is now
St Johnstone, double St Johnstone, I tell you.
Now, as a Rangers fan, they've got to look at this and go, this is the chance for Gerrard to put all that talk behind him about how being able to do it in domestic cups. And now, a good chance.
We've also forgotten how big doubles are, by the way, because of Celtic recently. We've forgotten how big the double is.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially the Scottish Cup double, but no way to get ahead of ourselves, of course, because St Johnstone have been really good this season. You're at home as well, so if you obviously Rangers are going to be huge favourites. They went and beat Celtic, who would have been the toughest challenge for Rangers. So yeah, obviously we're going to be massive favourites going into this. Not be a disappointment if we don't win it. However, cup competitions are a different animal, aren't they? And in any given day, such as the beauty and greatness of football, and that's what it's all about, you know.
Still got Aberdeen, Hibs and St Mirren in there as well, who could all cause difficulty.
And Aberdeen scored a goal.
2
goals at the weekend.
Granted, it took them 120 minutes to get to 2, but you know, they still scored 2 goals.
Scoring some goals.
Hibs scored 4.
But I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't
A
confident.
bit
in
boring
Rangers
that there's
going.
no lower league teams in the quarterfinals. So that's a bit boring to me. I just think, nah.
No, it's not their fault. You're shite.
Well, I know.
Oh.
Listen, I'm not saying it's your fault. I know whose fault it is.
Who?
I shouldn't have said that.
Whose fault is it?
It's who did we get beat off?
Who's the
cup?
mascot?
It's Perez's fault, Juventus, German.
Yeah, I'm
Hate Juventus.
Boris Johnson's looking at like, fairly old, isn't
It's
he?
the second time you've mentioned Big Bob.
Look at him.
Bojo.
He's looking fairly old there.
I see.
It's been looking like that since
I
the
don't know if I
80s.
can like turn it round completely. He just looks fairly
He's
old.
getting there,
He
innit?
looks a bit old.
It's not like
there.
Gail Platt there.
Starting to look like his dad.
I'd rather have Gail Platt as Prime Minister, to be honest.
Right, look, we'll kind of we skimmed over the whole Scottish Cup in yesterday's live show, which was very well done. Thank you, by the way. Very nice first live show.
That was good.
You, Jack, and Callum talking about Aberdeen. First
Once
win.
Callum decided to turn up.
Stephen Glass, first
Oh yeah,
Aberdeen
Stephen
game.
Glass, yeah.
A win for them.
Lots of Aberdeen fans very happy too about the improving performance.
Look, 2 goals.
Yeah.
You can't complain.
Nice football
He
too at
scored
times.
2
They were
goals.
behind twice as well, weren't they? The
Yep.
Jet, he scored 2.
But Aberdeen don't really give a fuck about the results for the rest of the season. They want
Just win.
performances now.
Aye.
They want to see the team play some nice football.
So yeah, you kind of touched on all of
If you
it.
want to find out our thoughts on the cup, go and watch yesterday's live.
It's all shaping up together now, though, isn't it? It's all coming together nicely. The kind of
So I'm guessing you think Rangers are going to win the cup.
ending to the season.
Think Rangers are going to win the cup.
I would be surprised if Rangers don't win the cup.
Thanks to Johnston winning the cup.
I think St Johnson.
For you, Callum Davidson.
We've got a St Johnson double this week. That's stinky, eh?
Johnson
We've got McDermott and then Ibrox.
Look, it's going to be an interesting end to the season because it's, as a Celtic fan, just counting down the minutes now to the
I
end.
think it's done.
Just want it over and done.
I'm
with.
buying St Johnson's
Celtic-
top if they win the double.
Just to end off the derby talk from the weekend, Celtic need to move now. We need to make an appointment. There has to be a manager. Start the
I
conversation.
thought it was supposed to be done yesterday.
Start the conversation.
Was that
with
supposed to be
Mourinho.
done yesterday morning?
Well, look, I'm telling you,
Or Sunday?
I still think it's done, but they need to
Aye.
move. They need to announce it. They have to have it.
If it was
finished.
done, why wouldn't they announce it?
Because there's so many loose ends that
They've been there for
happen in
months.
these
Doesn't
things.
tie them up.
PR wise,
Even if they want to, right?
Everything's just
That's
a
the thing.
disaster
Where
this
do you
year.
know? This is the point I was going to bring up in the Celtic Thunder today. So I want to kind of bring it up to you two as non-Celtic fans. It will be quite interesting
Then we'll talk about Alan McGregor.
because it's taken.
Oh, we just go skip that.
Because it's come to it if you want. Because it's taken so long, right? Do you think there should be a point for the good of the football club where Celtic turn round to Eddie Howe and say, look, we need an answer now. This has to happen now.
But if it's
And it
done,
has
he's
to-
already given the answer.
Yeah, but if the announcement for the appointment, for everything to be done official and all the rest of it, it needs to happen at a point, doesn't it? Is there a point where Celtic need to look out for the best of the club and just say it's now? or
If
never?
it is done, and if he is going to be the next Celtic manager, it doesn't really matter when they announce it, because whenever they do it, there'll be a massive PR bump anyway, and everyone will be delighted. Ideally, the perfect timing, I think, would have been yesterday, off the back of an Old Firm defeat. Announce
There's just
that, everyone's then
silence from
forgetting
Celtic.
about
It's just
that.
a static white noise.
But
from
if
Celtic.
I was a Celtic fan, I would be absolutely shitting myself now, because I'm now seeing the Tottenham job come up. I'm expecting to
Howe's
see the
not going to
Newcastle
Spurs.
job
Eddie
to
Howe's
come
not
up.
going to Spurs.
I'm expecting the Palace job to probably come up.
He's not going to Spurs though.
Well, okay, but do
He's
you not think?
against the Super League first of
Do you
all.
not think
so
he might go to Newcastle or Palace?
How's against the Super League?
He was on the
Aye,
telly
he was on
last
telly
night.
last
He was on the
night.
telly last
Missed
night. He's against the Super League. So he's not going to like Spurs, Newcastle. Yeah,
Palace, yeah.
Well, there's no guarantee these jobs are going to be open.
No, but exactly. But the longer Celtic take to confirm him as a manager, the more chance of them coming up does.
I get what you're saying. Look, it's one that I just want over and done with. I want a managerial point, but the static white noise, as I'm saying again from Celtic, is frightening. They're not speaking. There's nothing on social media. There's no
Nothing.
communication with the fans. There's nothing, and it's a joke.
They should be making signings now. Or players.
I know.
Like,
I
they've still
think
got-
the best thing is
still
for the
got-
manager to come in now. I mean, Rodgers done it with Leicester. Instead of waiting to the end of the season, which he probably could have done, he went there and
came in
then
and
he's
he done a
seen,
good job.
he's
Done a good
seen
job.
what he had, and then getting into pre-season, he knew exactly what he
But
had
the
to do
size
to
of the
make them
rebuild as
better,
well.
and he did.
They
Exactly.
need
So
12,
he
15
the
players.
sooner he gets in, the better for Celtic, I think. So, aye.
Mad.
Well,
Al McGregor save.
Al McGregor save.
Shite penalty.
It was a shite penalty,
Oh,
but
Lovely height for McGregor, to be fair.
it was.
I mean, every penalty save's a good save.
Rangers put a tweet that's Davis has scored in 3 decades against Celtic, and Al McGregor saved 3 penalties in 3 decades against Celtic.
Wow, that's mad, isn't it?
See, for all the talk that Rangers got all these penalties, we never fucking get them against yous. What's that all about?
When was the last time Rangers ever
That's
got
a
a
really,
The
penalty?
only
really
one
good
I
question.
remember is Nacho Novo
Oh,
and a 3-0.
Morelos Cup final.
But to be fair, that's the last one I remember. But I can remember Marcelic because it's all these Al McGregor saves that are coming to my mind.
Aye.
Like the Samaras one,
Remember Samaras
Christie
scoring
last
one,
year,
too.
that one there.
That was a penalty shout.
Do you know what I mean?
Samaras scored one, did he not, as well?
Samaras.
I'm sure he scored one at Ibrox one time.
But I remember
Might have not been into McGregor, right?
No, he did.
Scanted
No, he
McGregor
did.
that
Oh, that's
day.
two
He scored
each,
2
is it?
that game, I
Aye,
think.
he
and
Oh,
then
aye, yeah.
Scanted
he
McGregor.
scored that one.
Look, Derby talk's done. We've got a lot to cover. So
Did you do his tier list?
have you done it?
Have I done
Who
it?
would you say? Like, did you see my tier list?
Nah, mate.
So basically, I took what I believe. Well, I asked
I remember you
Twitter,
talking about it.
I asked
but
Twitter
aye.
for their opinion of the best 30 Derby players of the last.
Yeah,
15
I
years.
gave you a few
years.
shouts for
And
it.
aye, so and I came. So if you were to pick off the top of your head the top 3 of the last 15 years, who would you say?
Jesus, I mean-
just off the top of your head, I done Brown, Dembele, and Ferguson. They were my 3. That was the 3 I done.
It depends what you're talking about.
I know
in
there's so
terms
much
of
to weigh-
quality,
there's so much to
or
weigh it up
I
in
wouldn't
that.
have Brown in the top 3 for quality,
Quality,
but
yeah,
you
but
can't argue with the amount
service
of
and
trophies
the
and all that he
achievements,
won
that's what I was thinking.
in the last decade or so. I'd need to have all of them in front of me.
It's
To
tough.
be honest,
I
the
struggle
one
with it big
nailed
time.
on I'd have is Ferguson. If you
But then
go
the
top three.
last 15 years, you're only getting 2 seasons of Barry Ferguson.
I know, but he's fucking
And it's
amazing.
Ferguson, innit?
I know what
And
you're
also
saying.
one of the seasons
I know
was
what you're
6,
saying,
7,
but did he say
and he
15
hardly
years so he
played.
could say that?
He hardly played in
we came to
6,
the conclusion-
7.
No, it was 7-8.
What was it? 7 was
the
right,
first
okay.
season.
But then
He also he was a captain when
But then
Rangers went to
Celtic's-
UEFA Cup
Cup
final.
Celtic won league that year though.
Because,
Tough.
come on, we get fucking fucked
Nah,
up.
let's
The
calm-
SFA.
Let's
Tough.
calm
That's no
down.
lie.
Right, whoa.
I struggled it big time because I wanted Davis in there, but I also wanted Jelavic in there because I think Jelavic is unbelievable.
Jelavic was unbelievable for
Um,
Rangers, aye.
It's really tough that bit. It was really tough. And then not even just the top 3. You had to put, was it like 6, 7, 7 into the rest. It was so difficult, man.
Aye, I'd need to see the full list to be
good
honest.
challenge, but
I'd need
it's
to see the
really
full
good,
list. So who was close to that top 3 then for you?
The ones that I had
McGregor
right on the
was
fringe was Alan
close.
McGregor, Stephen Davis.
I'd maybe have Tierney ahead of Brown, to be
Tierney-
honest. If
Tierney
I
I
was
had
to
up there.
take Brown out, I'd maybe put Tierney.
I'd Aidan McGeady up in quality. McGeady, Tierney, McGregor, Davis. Who else did I have up there? Edward.
Did you got Manel or something call it?
No, I had him in good. Well, look, that we'll be here all day talking about this, but it's good. Have a go at it. Try and see if you can come up with a list and show me in WhatsApp or something. We'll have a laugh.
Easy video for you now.
Aye,
Aye.
good. You can make a video of it.
Make a video, aye.
Right, so very nicely done. We've spoke about all of that. Let's move on to the future, and that's the games that are happening over the course of tonight, tomorrow night, across all 4 divisions. I just can't believe I've got to watch Celtic again. Like, why are they doing this to me? And you know what the worst part? It's not even on the fucking telly. They're expecting
This
me to play.
pisses me off so much, the entitlement you lot have about having to pay
Don't
for
say you
streams.
lot, I never said that.
Because
mate.
honestly,
You agree with me, man.
I've heard so many Celtic fans moan about having to pay for one fucking live stream. Every other club in the country's
Is it
fans
at
have been
home?
doing it all season
But
long.
I'm sorry, there's about 5 of you and thousands of
It's
us.
just Celtic no
ridiculous.
No, we're away. It's Sodry and it's not on the telly. Shocking.
Pataudry and it's not in the telly.
Entitlement.
It's
It's
not
It's
on the
just,
telly.
just a nothing.
it is
game.
entitlement.
It's not entitlement.
You feel like it's wrong that you should have to pay for a live stream when everyone else across the country's been doing it all season
Well,
long.
the reason
How
that
much
we're-
are the season tickets at the other clubs, but compared to
But it's an away game, so why is that relevant?
because
I feel
they're
like
about £500.
If you're going to an away game, your season ticket doesn't cover you anyway.
I know, but still, you know, we paid a
If you were going to Pataudry tonight, you wouldn't get in for nothing.
Well, we're the biggest club. We bring the revenue.
I dig it, I dig
we,
it.
we bring the revenue to
Don't-
this country.
don't be just saying
We bring
we.
the revenue in through the. Well,
As
it is.
in-
How many of the games televised?
No,
are
but you're not
Celtic
bringing the
Rangers?
revenue tonight if you're watching his goal, are
I
you?
stop at Celtic when said we.
Oh, look, it's fine. I'm not.
You can't say you're bringing the
I'll
revenue
just-
then not pay for the streams.
Well,
That
I'm
defeats
not-
the purpose.
Well, I'll be watching on his goal.
Exactly. So you're bringing Aberdeen no revenue. You're worse than a fucking Dumbarton fan watching the stream up at
Well,
Aberdeen.
do you know, say Celtic were playing well, I would give Aberdeen the money.
It is a bit mad that Celtic versus Aberdeen wouldn't be on the
On the
telly.
telly, I know it's two of the top teams in the
historically, but maybe it's just because it doesn't really mean much.
Aye, it will be. It'll be because it's a dead rubber.
Is there another game in place of that, or
No,
no?
don't think there's anything on the telly. Is there tomorrow?
Cheers, Sky.
Sky don't give a shit.
No, Sky don't give a shit.
don't care.
We try to tell you.
Nah, try
to tell you, mate.
I mean, Sky are sitting here giving it the whole
A
fucking
year
against
ago.
the ESL and all that when they're as bad as the rest of
No,
them.
fair play. Carragher and Neville both said that last night. To be
Oh,
fair,
aye.
they
Did
said,
they
"Are we
about Sky?"
hypocritical?" Because because Carragher said Sky started this. Are we hypocritical sitting here talking about this? But then,
Fuck's sake.
you know, I
It's
thought
getting
I actually
3:45.
thought they were going to get cut off air at that point. Anyway, moving on.
Right,
Massive game of championship. I'm gonna watch that tonight.
You got to pay for it? You
I
need
might-
to know it for that.
go on, sorry, what were you saying about bringing revenue to these clubs?
But what are you on about?
Sorry, what were you saying?
But it's not my teams. It's different. I'm
It's
not.
different
Oh,
now,
aye,
it's
aye.
different
I'm not.
now.
Hold on.
It's different
I'm
now.
not moaning about having to watch. I don't.
Different now.
When I have to pay like Alloa 15 quid to watch a shite stream with a fucking camcorder, I'm not moaning. I still do it.
You're a high and mighty a moment ago.
I know, but I will still pay them the money.
Is it that bad at Alloa?
Yeah, it was. I've only seen it once, but it was dreadful. It was absolutely awful.
Well, if
Some
you'll
of
need
them
to
are
count
awful.
him in Alloa.
Aye, you go, aye, that's your man.
Telling you.
Right, okay, we'll move on to previewing the games because, of course, we've already been talking for half an hour, so let's try and fly through these. I'll do my regular shite hosting job and getting the games mixed up, but I'll try my best. Hamilton Motherwell, we've got a derby on the cards.
Are we doing Wednesday before we do Tuesday? That's a bit back to front.
Well, just to get the Premiership out the way
Okay,
first, may as
right,
well.
nice,
Hamilton and Motherwell.
Not
tomorrow
that I would have
night.
done it, but hey ho.
Oh, well, sorry, I'm the host. It's my decision.
Shite host was it you
My
said?
call. Yes.
Yeah.
and people love it.
Yeah.
I'll have you know.
Right, hurry up.
Right, Hamilton Motherwell. There we go. A game that kind of is quite important down the bottom end of the table. Hamilton in desperate need of a result here. And I'll tell you what, for as well as Motherwell have been doing as of recent, and they won their opening game in the split, of course, I have a feeling Brian Rice will get a result in this game.
Hamilton's recent record against Motherwell was pretty good.
They battered them. They battered them 4-1 in the game before.
Motherwell have turned a corner under Graham Alexander. They still have inconsistencies though, and they still have the odd bad result, but they're definitely a turn of form. Big Chipper, obviously desperate for results. The longer it's going, the more I think, wow, this could be the year, as we do every year when it gets to this stage. But I don't know which way this will go tomorrow night. I would fancy Motherwell. It's at Fir Park, isn't it?
No, it's
Hugh Douglas. Oh wow! Sorry, the Fountain of Youth Stadium. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I mean, you would imagine Motherwell because they've improved, but it's so difficult to write off Aki, especially in a game like this at home in the splits where they come to life. They've not been great though, Aki's. They are starting to look a little bit like a beaten team for me, which is a bit tough, because normally this is the point of the season where they're really starting to show something, where they actually did that a month ago.
Although I think they had 27 shots against Dundee United and still get beat, but as we say,
I'm telling you, I think they'll get a result here. I think they've advanced themselves.
I feel like Hamilton have peaked a little bit too soon this season, because see, like a month ago when Anderson came in and started scoring, him and Ogkampo were looking at well about getting results. Even performances in games they were losing, I think they played alright against Rangers, played alright against Celtic, I think.
Brilliant against Rangers.
But they've fallen away in recent weeks. So
what I would say is, if they don't beat Motherwell in this, that would be contradictory to their previous forms, and the writing could be on the wall, because this is their game. This is the game they're always up for. They always seem to beat Motherwell no matter how good Motherwell were doing. Even last season when Motherwell were finishing third, Hamilton were putting in performances against them. So maybe if they can't win this, the writing could be in the wall for Big Chipper.
It's huge, because depending on how results sway, if Hamilton were to beat Motherwell, they have the potential to leapfrog two teams here. They can go above Kilmarnock and Ross County. So it is huge for Brian Rice. I've got to understand the importance of that. It's a massive game. So if we give a quick prediction, you going to well?
I am, yeah. But what I will say is the fact that Hamilton have got more to play for here than Motherwell do might, it might give them incentive, but I can't see past Motherwell. I think they're doing well just now.
Not be yourself, Dave.
I'm going 2-0 to Hamilton.
2-0 Hamilton.
We can't count them out every year.
Clean sheet for Ackies.
Aye.
Clean sheet, I'm saying
I was thinking about 3-0 to be honest, but
jeez,
that was the scoreline last time, was it not? Fir Park.
I thought it was 4-1.
Or something like that, yeah.
But I think they beat them 3-0
at Hamilton.
But they tend to put goals past Motherwell.
I'm going to say 3-1 Hamilton.
Wow.
I feel like this season, and Stevie has pointed this out a few times.
That'd be
the show, a guy Stevie, Motherwell fan. He's pointed out a few times. It seems like I've had a very big hatred or something for Motherwell this season. It seems like I've always had an agenda against them throughout this entire season.
Because for so long there, they were beating Celtic lots, weren't they? They went through a phase of beating Celtic quite a bit at Fir Park, especially. I'm talking.
There was a wee mini rivalry.
I'm talking like 8-10 years ago. Though.
Oh right, okay.
There was a wee spell.
Nothing to do. Just this season they've been very, very weird. Been a struggle to watch at times. Not easy on the eye, Motherwell. I don't think they ever are, to be fair. Motherwell never really easy on the eye, are they? Yeah, I sound terrible. Motherwell fans will hate me. Hibs and Livy.
Hibs for me.
Hibs.
I think. They've kind of they've turned it round.
Nisbet started scoring
again.
Yeah,
he started scoring again. Although he couldn't hit a barn on Saturday. He got his goal, but it was a massive deflection. He had so many easy chances he missed. Hibs are still on course to have a really, really, really good season, which is a bit bizarre because I don't feel like it's that much of a happy camp at Hibs just now. Certainly after the League Cup semi-finals when Jack Ross was under lots of pressure. I don't know, man. They don't seem to be very happy, Hibs fans. When you look at the league table, they're still in the Scottish Cup. They could theoretically get to a cup final and have been in another semi-final and finish third. It's a great season for Hibs.
I think he's been a victim of his own success a wee bit because he's progressed them that much that they got to the point at Hampden where they underachieved. Like they got to the game versus Hearts as big favourites to get put out. They got to the game versus St Johnstone, they get hammered. So I don't know if that's came back to bite them in the bollocks a wee bit. I'd go Hibs in this one as well because they've got more to play for. It maybe comes down to that.
Livy have petered out.
Livy have petered out, although put in a good performance at Aberdeen.
I mean,
absolutely, cup, so it's a different
absolutely fair play to them. Again, Livy haven't been on a great run recently, but you've got to take the season into context. Cup final, decent top 6 finish.
It's been unbelievable.
You chopped the hand off.
Under Holt, I thought they might be going down.
Just to add,
beat every week.
I didn't even know Edwin van der Sar had spoken on the Super League.
Ajax, what a club.
He's came out and spoke about it, so I'll have a read of that afterwards. But it's more and more. I scroll through Twitter, I just keep seeing stuff and it's annoying me. So we'll move on to Ross County against St Mirren, a game which actually has quite a bit of potential to be entertaining.
Oh, that's naughty.
I think that John Hughes will be once again in the same situation as Hamilton. They have to understand the importance of this, but then against St Mirren, very strong season, been very good, just narrowly missing out on that top 6. So I think this will be an entertaining affair. Dev, I'll let you kick us off here. What are you thinking?
This is another huge game. Absolutely massive. Of course, more for Ross County. Last week, I think a lot of people thought Kelly were just going to go in and beat Ross County, but they came back twice against them and they drew 2 each. So I don't know. And with St Mirren as well, we spoke about it in last week's show. They seem to be, they're not really picking up results at the moment. This could be the one where they go and they pick that up again though. But of course it's massive for Ross County. Can they go in there and can they get a result? Because as you say, if Hamilton go and beat Motherwell, they leapfrog them, and it's still so close down there. Especially with Kelly. I thought Kelly were maybe going to pull away, but then they go and draw with Ross County, so it's still exciting down there.
Well, there's the point that you make. A good point. As of recent, St Mirren have been a little bit slumpish. There's been a little bit of
it's like a hangover basically if they not get top 6.
Exactly, a little bit of a dip. I know they started off the split poorly and they kind of ended off the first half poorly. They should still have the tools here to beat Ross County.
But this is the beauty of the split, is that you've got see, you've got 3 teams in a relegation battle, 3 teams with not a great deal to play for. You're playing for prize money in terms of what place. So you've got 3 teams who aren't as good, but St Mirren and Ross County and Hamilton have got so much. St Mirren and Hamilton.
Yeah.
Hamilton, Ross County, and Kelly have got so much more riding in the games this week. So much more pressure. There's so much more to play for. That see if all 3 were to win midweek, it wouldn't surprise me that much because they've got there's so much on it. Ross County at home. This has been the problem for John Hughes since he's come in. He was getting results and performances against the bigger teams, but see the teams round about him he's been struggling against. He's kind of turned that around recently, but he absolutely needs. I think he needs to get 3 points here because I think Kelly will be fine, if I'm honest, because I think Kyle Lafferty has made such a difference, and I honestly think he might keep him up single-handedly. I think it's between Hamilton and Ross County, if I'm honest about who goes down now. So whoever, if one slips up and the other one wins, it's absolutely massive. There's no room for. How many games left after this? 3 games left after this?
Yeah,
it's squeaky bum time now.
That is.
So I'm gonna go with Ross County.
Very squeaky.
You going Ross County?
Yeah. So I think Ross County and Motherwell will win, so Hamilton will slip up.
I think this could be a draw.
I'm going to go for 1-0 to St Mirren. I think St Mirren will take the win. I think John Hughes will have to play for it all in those last few games. So I predicted Hamilton win, a Ross County loss, which brings us on to the final game in terms of these relegation teams. The teams in the relegation battle. Kilmarnock against Dundee United.
See, I fancy Kelly.
You fancy
I
Kelly?
really fancy Kelly, if I'm honest. I think
Kelly,
Dundee United are looking a bit flat. I know they won last week, didn't they? They won against who was it they played? Hamilton. Yeah, won against Hamilton, but again they were very flat. They weren't very good on Friday night against Forfar in the cup. And then there's
talk of Mickey Mellon perhaps leaving.
Yeah, and you talk about a club that doesn't really feel like they've got much to play for. It feels almost more like that with Dundee United than the other two, because at least with Motherwell, Graham Alexander still trying to make his stamp on the squad. Jim Goodwin's trying to salvage
the momentum going.
Yeah, I just feel like Dundee United are petering out a little bit. I really fancy Kelly.
I fancy Kelly as well.
I fancy Kelly, but United are a weird one. Like sometimes you don't you expect
exactly.
them to win
I
and
feel
they
like
don't.
They've done that so many times this season.
All the time.
This means nothing. They've got nothing to play for, and then they go out and they win the game. So it's a weird one. Do they just turn up when the pressure is off?
Again, I think the first goal is going to be vital here, and who takes something for the game. But I would lean towards Kelly as well because they've got more to play for, especially when you look at the amount of chances Hamilton got against them. If you're getting the chances to Kyle Lafferty and Buck,
and Kelly are scoring goals as well now, and that was a problem for so long.
That was the thing.
When Tommy Wright came in,
2-0
now they're scoring goals, so I think they'll be fine.
2-1 Kelly.
Nice.
You say 2-1.
So based on how I've predicted that Hamilton are in big trouble this week, because I think the other two are going to win, that could be interesting.
Well,
Watch it be 3 draws.
You've put the writing in the wall for big Chipper.
Me and him have still fallen out after.
Still falling out, that's right, after the FM.
Do you think he can fight Big Chipper?
Oh, by the
absolutely.
way, he'd be handy, yeah.
He would be.
Oh,
the night out we had, you would have started
left foot, right foot,
devastating.
the whole lot.
Yeah.
But the big show, is this the big show? Any choke slam? Yeah, I bet. Game over after the choke slam.
Do you know why? Because they're fucking Hamilton. They get nothing.
Who do you think? Right, out of 12 managers that are playing in the
Scottish
Prem,
right?
right?
Like this.
Who are you battering in a fight?
Who am I battering in a fight?
Aye, who do you reckon you could do?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Oh,
I was hoping Heckenbottom's still at Hibs, to be fair.
Yeah,
He's the one. I'd batter him.
The mouse.
I'd do him in. And Stono at him like a... Sorry.
So we can do this
Who's
because
the 12 in the Prem right now?
fucking Gerard.
Shut up.
Gerard.
He'd give you £100 to fuck off, mate.
I know.
Who am I fancy? Not Tommy Wright.
No, Tommy Wright, I wouldn't
Tommy
miss
Wright,
him.
Andy.
Wouldn't
Do you know
miss
who
John
I-
Kennedy looks like a lunatic. He's a centre half there on, no right?
Yeah, I was thinking Kennedy, and actually he does look a bit of a
No,
skills.
if I had to pick all the managers who I could batter, for me, I think I'm going
Jack Ross.
Jack Ross. That's what I'm saying.
Jack Ross?
Too much of a pretty boy.
Jack
I know,
Ross.
but he looks like.
Well, think of the alternatives, right?
He just looks cool, Jack.
Mickey
Ross,
Mellon,
like,
maybe? Mickey Mellon, maybe?
Oh, well, Mickey Mellon's a shout, but then
He's been doing England
but
for
I
about
think
20 years, so
I
maybe.
think he's
Bit old now.
quietly, you know.
Oh, maybe Stephen Glass, actually. Stephen Glass is...
Oh,
Oh,
Glass.
he's new, isn't he?
Tell you-
Like, he's a
tell you
new
what,
guy.
though,
I knew
a
guys.
better conversation is who wouldn't you want? Because there's a few
Ryan
fucking
Rice.
contenders. No,
Ryan
there's
Rice.
Davy Martindale.
John Hughes would
Martindale.
smash you.
Davy Martindale.
Martindale would get you took to a forest in a boot somewhere, didn't he?
Oh.
That's
That's
a
a...
hard one.
I mean,
And he
there's,
just get-
there's
he'd
a
get you
number of
bumped
them you
off.
would want there.
Aye.
He just get you
I
bumped.
think who else we can throw in there. Tommy Wright.
Graham Alexander.
Oh, no,
Slap
I
in
wouldn't
a boot.
fancy
No,
myself.
he
No.
looks a psycho.
Graham Alexander's a
Thanks,
hard
sir.
man. I wouldn't fancy Graham.
he?
He
Oh,
looks
no.
hard, you know.
By the way,
I think
remember he was a
I'd-
player?
I think I'd slap Graham Alexander a bit.
No, as a player, he was hard as fucking
Sorry.
nails, Graham Alexander.
That's a challenge.
That's a chat. I know. Let's get him on the fucking metaphor.
Approached Motherwell's media team. Maybe I can get the gaffer on for
Uh,
a charity boxing match.
Imagine
just
that.
getting fucking
Imagine
knocked out.
somehow TSF managed to set up a charity boxing night. There was all the managers fighting each other in a big
Who would headline it?
That'd be class.
You and
Obviously,
you and CJ?
Gerrard.
Gerard's
It's the managers.
Gerard's got your headline.
I thought it was us fighting.
Oh, right. I thought, no, I meant to get all the managers.
Because we've got Jack and...
Kaz Milligan's got to fight in it. We've got to get him
We've got
involved.
Jack and the guy from Axon. They're fighting.
Oh, he's taking the lot of them on actually. after
Jack's
last
fighting
night.
them all.
Oh, he said he'd smashed them all.
Who are you
actually,
squaring
yeah.
up to?
I don't know.
I don't know, I feel like I'd just be the announcer or something. Maybe me and you in commentary.
I'll take commentary, mate.
Oh, what is that? Re-pumped it.
In fact, I'll put the gauntlet.
No,
I'll fight Graham
hold on a
Alexander.
minute.
Ah,
There'll be
there
a,
you go,
there'll be a
yeah.
queue of people looking to fight you, so I wouldn't worry
Oh,
about
aye. Nathan Patterson.
it. Seconds out, round 2.
David Patterson 2-0 against you.
Let's just calm down now. Let's calm down.
We'll have to see.
Look, great day, fantastic laugh. Get your tickets, it'll be on soon. I'm looking forward to see who wants to fight me. The gauntlet's out. We've got 2 more games to cover in the Premiership very quickly. St Johnstone and Rangers, as you said, David. David, I've called you David. Your
Sunday name.
You're David. Your Sunday name. Aye. A tricky one because you've got them twice in a week now. Twice in. Is it a week? Is he going to start?
It's a week. It's at the weekend, so.
Is it the weekend?
Aye.
How come Celtic
Back to the
don't play
cup.
the weekend?
Because you're
Oh,
at
aye,
the
you're
cup.
at the cup.
Wow.
Set himself up for that one.
It's a weird one. Obviously, Rangers want to. I think the players will want to be undefeated, but it's what approach they take versus St Johnstone, who they play and such. I think it'll be a wee bit of trial for some of the players. Might bring in Hadji's not played much recently. Might bring in guys like him. Might even give Scott Wright a chance.
Yeah, I've got a shirt.
And different guys like that. So he might bring in some other players, and it'll be a wee bit of a trial game for them if they can be good enough to get in that team for the weekend. So I still think Rangers will do alright versus them because
I think Roof might play as well.
And then
Roof will play.
Morelos was very, very, very quiet on Sunday.
He was, but he didn't get the ball much.
No, he didn't need to be
Didn't-
busy,
aye,
but...
Didn't need to be busy. The other two beside him were
Yeah, yeah.
incredible. Ryan Kent, in fact, when I even spoke to
Oh,
him, he was
by
ripping the
the
pish.
way.
Some of his
Right,
turns
let's
were.
3 or 4 times he sent Brown for the evening times when it was
He did
just...
send him for his pension.
Oh,
Man.
filthy. That was the one thing I forgot to say about the Old Firm was the difference between Brown and Davis, and the day was just embarrassing, really.
It was a weird one, because you kind of bulked Brown up.
He did build it
But
up.
it was
I
always
said it
going to happen.
pre-match.
It was always.
Have you noticed how they all want Sorrow back in the team? Who'd have thought it,
Sorry. Wasn't listening.
It was always going to happen. To be fair, like he's ancient. So.
No, one point I wanted to bring up actually. I was listening to the live show last night, of course, with Jack and Callum, and
me.
you were asking the question about the Invincibles and if you go the season invincible. Do you feel these kind of games more than you do the last one against Celtic? Now, would it be a banana skin game, as Jack put it?
But we asked about
It
this.
would
Doesn't
be.
give a fuck.
Aye, it would be a banana skin, but mate, honestly, I don't really.
Couldn't care.
The league's won.
Aye,
Do you know what I mean?
exactly.
So even if Rangers go and lose all the rest of the games, doesn't
League's
really
won.
mean anything. The
Jack
league's
put it
won.
perfectly on last night. If he was offered a league title and putting Celtic at the cup, he'd have been laughing
Aye,
his way to the
took
bank
it.
with that one.
So, what I will say is though, getting to this point in the season undefeated, still in the league, I didn't expect going into it. So
Well,
even if they go and they don't finish undefeated, they'll still have had an
mental
unbelievable
how
season.
you go 150 years without anybody doing an invincible. Well, actually, I would say that
Modern
seasons.
style.
Yeah, modern style. How many years has that been? 60, 70 years.
Another
Like
something.
It's
like
longer
buses
than
meant
that.
to come along. Yeah.
But in 2 and 5 years, teams might have an invincible campaign.
Isn't it mad though how like this
It's time for Dave Cormack to put money at Aberdeen and fucking get a chance.
What was supposed to be like the biggest season in Scottish football for such a long time,
Turned out
the only
it
thing
was.
we're really interested in
Turned
at this
out it
point
was.
is now Hamilton, Ross County and Kilmarnock.
That's crazy, aye.
And it's been that way for a
Should
good
have
few
been a
weeks
title
now.
race, man. Should have been. But
It wasn't even a
Shite.
fucking walk. It was just a.
It was a gentle.
canter.
It was a gentle crawl.
It was a.
Gentle crawl.
Aye. Look, we'll cover this all, of course, on a live show on Wednesday. Tomorrow, actually, we'll be talking about it a bit more before the games kick off, because the games, of course, kick off at 8:15. Well, Rangers are 7. Actually, you're on the telly tomorrow,
Probably.
because it's away. You're away from home. It's
Yes, it will be,
Dermot
won't it?
Park. It's 7 o'clock kick-off.
I'll check for you, mate.
Anyway, last game to talk about. I don't even want to talk about Aberdeen Celtic. I
Uh,
would not be shocked if Celtic don't win this
well,
game.
either would I. But Aberdeen have got their tails up a little bit. I think it'll be interesting to see the Stephen Glass Scott Brown factor. That'll be interesting. I don't imagine Brown will play this game. I wouldn't have
Yeah,
thought.
it's a weird one. Didn't even consider that.
Because
Aye.
obviously,
Doesn't he appear to be on Sky, so... doesn't
see
look
Brown against. Do you think Brown will just go fuck it? See you later, John. I'm away at the other dugout and just sit with
Maybe.
Could
Stephen
you
Glass.
imagine that? I reckon that's a storyline that could happen in the Super League, though.
Yeah, like
That's what I'm saying, the way you do it,
like
just half
WWE.
time, fucking Brown comes and rips his strip off and goes...
Well, have you
and
ever seen that video of Vince McMahon in the news? The one I put on Twitter?
I don't
Like,
really
there's a
like
clip
that
by
one,
Vince McMahon and he's on the news, he's getting interviewed. It's not like a
and he
WWE
runs to the
thing.
car park.
No. It's
Gets
like he's just
chokeslammed
sitting on the
through a
news. It's
table.
like, I think Stan Kroenke should be
yeah.
arrested because he's a terrible businessman. You know, like imagine like you just came into this, Vince McMahon walks in, he's like, no. Fucking
The only-
Paul Midby did at that
The only
point.
way I'd watch the Super League is if it's like 94th minute, Man United 0 Liverpool 0. There's a corner for one of the teams, the lights go out and Undertaker turns up, fucking knocks a header in at the last minute. That's when I'd watch it. That would be good.
So
Then
Aberdeen
I'd cry
Celtic,
myself to sleep.
football league. Aberdeen Celtic is one of those ones that for Celtic it's a game closer to the finishing line now. I think that's what we're all kind of wanting. But now this is a big chance for John Kennedy to give guys time that need time. So as you priorly mentioned, I mean we should get Montgomery in the team.
Who is Montgomery, by the way?
Young lad.
Because I seen him in the lineup, but...
Burns. He's only about 16.
Right.
He's just signed a
I
contract.
thought it was Colin Montgomery. I thought he'd given up the golf.
Apparently very good player, but of course we've never seen him.
But the thing is about this though.
There's a lot of them in the youth, man.
Get Albion Yeti on the park, man. Why
What's
are we
the
not
point?
starting a Yeti?
What's
There's
the
no
point?
point for him.
Get him fucking ready for next season.
But
Give him time.
I don't really think the
Well,
point.
the game's gone.
Oh, no,
Like
but-
somebody can get a tune out of you.
Yes, of course, absolutely.
I need to get him fit first.
Aye, well, aye.
Fuck's-
You can't get
the
himself fit,
Got to get the
clearly.
whole fucking team fit.
Oh,
It's
well,
not just
no, you
him.
don't though, because
It's the whole
you
team.
don't think Ryan Christie's fit enough? He's fit enough.
Everybody's blown out their arse at the weekend again.
I know, but I think there's still some of them that are.
There's a couple of them who are that finely tuned.
We didn't talk, I know.
There's so many
I know.
players. There's a problem at
I know we're not
Celtic
talking about
fitness.
any positives from Celtic the weekend. I did think there was one. I did think David Turnbull again looked a class above the rest of them.
Turnbull's the best player on the team.
Yeah.
They've
I
got to
thought
build
in
the team
own
around him.
play wasn't as involved, but what I will say is when it got to set pieces,
But see, and
there
also,
was a lot more.
but also every time
nervous
he gets the
fans,
ball,
you
you do think something's going to happen. You know, the stat that came out last year about key passes in Europe is just phenomenal. How high up the company he's in with that stat, it is remarkable. But again, I mean, did he play the 90 minutes the weekend?
Aye.
That's a rare occurrence that in itself. You know, he normally gets hooked at halfway through. Forrest might be back. That's another thing I suppose he can.
You see
maybe,
that stat about? Was you
what I just
really rub
mentioned
about
it, yeah.
the key passes?
Aye.
Unbelievable.
doesn't listen to me at all.
I was.
It is-
I
it
just
is,
couldn't
uh,
remember what stat.
So
it was.
Forrest will probably back. You'd imagine. So I mean, wee TK will get a run out again. I'm sure.
Mad how, and it's not.
You think?
I'm not making excuses. Do not get me started on excuses. And Rangers won the game. We're not good enough. But it is mad. Even after the space of 2 games, you realise how much you missed James Forrest. Celtic's win for the weekend was a severe issue. You spoke on that last
Aye,
night.
fullbacks weren't not
Fullbacks
good
not
enough.
going forward. You need that win. Forrest not being in that team changed that.
And it's not
again
even
for
that. I
Celtic.
still think Rangers in the second half, especially, just didn't get through the gears.
But this is what I keep saying. Like, when was the last time Rangers played a phenomenally good Old Firm game? Not this season.
It's just been very measured. and
They've not
controlled
needed,
this
but
year.
they've not needed to.
They've not needed to, no. The
it's
last
very
ones I
consistent.
remember was when the fans were in and
Yeah.
it's 100 miles an hour and
Exactly.
stuff like that. I think that's when Rangers have been at their best. This year it's been more measured and it looks like you're watching Rangers in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Since years gone by, they just control the game. They get their goals early and then the
Right,
second half
I'm
it's been measured.
getting cautious that I'll end up being sick. So I don't want to continue on with
Again.
the Rangers
Still
chance.
know
Look, we're 50 minutes through the show, and I've got a quiz to go. I've got Twitter questions. The Championship is on tonight, of course. We've got games around of course, League 1 and League 2 as well. Inverness Dundee, David.
It's arguably the biggest game in Scotland this week for me, in my opinion. It's an absolutely massive game, that.
Quick prediction.
I just hope. Well, I mean, one team's going to drop points, which is good from Fairland, but if Inverness win, they will go very close to securing top 4. If Dundee win, vice versa. So it's a massive game. Neil McCann has done a wonderful job there. They're flying. I really hope Inverness lose because it'll give us a chance to get the playoffs, but it's absolutely massive. Inverness, I think they did quite well against St Mirren on Friday night. I don't think they really deserved to get beat. Really, they were really decent. Dundee, for all that they have started a wee bit, still got a really good squad. It's gonna be a really good game. I'm looking forward to it. I just hope that Inverness don't win.
And then, of course, Morton against Hearts. Hearts in a situation just now disputing the championship trophy.
They're not going to lift it. I don't think they're going to leave it on the stand when the presentation happens.
Why?
Is because they shouldn't have to lift it, because they shouldn't be there in the first place. That's their logic.
Because they were relegated unwillingly.
Listen, I don't really mind it because they're not celebrating fuck all anyway. Even the I mean, someone said, but think of the players that want them. Do the players really want that moment? I think they just want to get next season started now. Morton are scrapping for their lives though, which is really interesting about this game. Hearts, I mean, yes, they've won the league, but they still need performances because Robbie Nielsen's under a lot of pressure. Morton will scrap for their lives, and they did well against Motherwell. Fair play to them. Some shift they put in that night. So, I mean, we'll see. But it's going to be an interesting night, the championship at both ends.
And make sure to watch the coverage after the games on the championship show tomorrow night.
Yes,
it'll be after the games, so we'll do it.
Aye, because the games are tonight, so we'll record it tomorrow.
Oh, of course, aye. Tonight, I'm thinking of the tomorrow night, just for a moment there. Right, of course, right. So tomorrow night, you can watch the championship show with David and Adam as they go through what is going to be an enthralling night of games tonight. Just because that Inverness and Dundee didn't win. Of course. Do you think it was being?
Yes.
I think Inverness might win that. Sorry.
I think Dundee will win it.
No, man.
I think Dundee will
win it.
I think
Inverness might, because
a draw is the perfect result for us.
I'm trying to keep his fucking faith alive. Look, we're going to go fly through League 1 and League 2. Just give me your predictions. I know we'd love to sit and talk and all the rest of it, but we'll have the live shows tomorrow and all the rest of it. So let's go. Let's quickly. Montrose or Cove Rangers?
Cove.
Cove joint top now.
Yep.
Yeah, I fancy
Partick
Cove.
are back at here. I predicted
It's a three-way fight at the top.
Partick Thistle are doing it, man. I predicted them.
How's Airdrie getting on the relegation battle?
Let's see. 5th.
I mean,
Still time, mate.
15 points clear.
But so I think, am I right in thinking Cove, Thistle,
15 points, isn't it?
Cove, Thistle, and Falkirk are joint on points now?
They get, I can't give them
one behind.
So Falkirk are stuttering big time. When it looked like they were dead set to win that league, they're now in a bit of trouble.
When you said Cove last week to win, I was a bit surprised, but fucking hell.
So we're all saying Cove there. Airdrie and East Fife. I'm going East Fife.
East Fife have hit a good bit of form. They are now in the top 4, I think.
I think Airdrie at home will win this.
I think that's the battle for the 4th spot in that league. Is that
I think Airdrie will take it.
Well, of course, Airdrie could go down. So
I think East Fife though, because they've hit a bit of form.
Yep, Dumbarton, Partick. Yeah, we've got to go Partick.
Thistle have turned up. Super Joe's flying, by the way.
Riding high at the moment. Peterhead and Falkirk.
Oh,
tough one at Peterhead.
You've got to go Falkirk there, haven't you? Although Peterhead went ahead at the weekend as well.
Way. I mean, Falkirk are struggling now. A lot of their fans think they might have fucked it, but
I'm going to go draw.
I would love Falkirk to get beat for obvious reasons.
I'm going to go draw.
I mean,
that would be huge. I think Falkirk will win.
I think Falkirk probably will win as well, but it won't be pretty.
And finally, the last game in League 1 tonight is Forfar against Clyde, 9th against 10th. Or 10th against 9th, I should say. It's quite a stinker of a game, but I'm going to go Clyde.
Yeah, Clyde's squad to me would suggest they should be finished above Forfar, but again, defensively, Clyde are a horror show.
I mean, they're still 6 points clear of Forfar as well.
Yeah. So I mean, it's one of those. It's very much do or die for Forfar now. They've got to win that.
Yeah.
So I felt that Clyde will do it.
League 2, I wanted to bring it up and I forgot at the start about Brecon. That is incredible. Have you seen that? How many points have got at the potential last 260 or something?
Well, since they got promoted to the championship, they got promoted to the championship in 17-18, and I think I don't think they won a game all season, and since then they've won like 6 games or something ridiculous like that.
That's insane.
It's frightening.
Poor Brecon.
But
as you always say, Brecon and Cowdenbeath though is the game. Cowdenbeath to win the game.
Cowdenbeath got hammered at the weekend, but they did a bit upturn before that. So
5 points, man.
Yeah.
Just everybody beats Brecon, so it doesn't matter how bad you are. I'll be an absolute
I shouldn't feel sorry for them because they deserve to go down, but I don't know. It's one of those. They humped it because they had Annan last week, who are the team ahead of them. Who, if they'd won that, they might have had a slight chance that they humped it. So I mean,
we've all seen Cowdenbeath.
We're all seeing
definitely.
The Blue Brazil.
Queen's Park, Elgin. Queen's
Park are flying.
Queen's Park. Annan against Stennismuir.
Stenny for me as well. Annan are lucky. Brecon are so bad. Because Annan are not a good side.
Stirling Albion against Edinburgh City. I'm going to go for Edinburgh City.
I would have gone for Edinburgh, but Stirling hammered Cowdenbeath at the weekend, so I'm going to go with Stirling Albion.
I fancy Edinburgh again. Narrow.
No.
I mean, granted, Stirling are up in the 3rd on the table in a minute. You know, it could be just fancy
1-0 Edinburgh.
And finally, the last game in the pyramid to talk about Albion Rovers against Stranraer.
Ryan McGinley's team.
Ryan McKinley's
Who's
team.
his team?
Albion Rovers.
Thank fuck it was a Stranraer.
Stranraer! He's going to be, you'll be in this chat like, Div, by the way, I'm not actually an Albion Rovers fan. Just to clarify. I'm going to go for Albion Rovers. At home at Coatbridge. Oh, aye.
I just back whoever's playing against Stranraer, even though at the weekend, on Friday night they won 3 or 4-0 or something like that, so still going Albion.
Yeah.
6-0.
I mean, Stranraer.
You said 6-0 last.
I'm just going to keep saying it until it happens.
Well, you'll be 4 off Hibs, so they weren't a million miles away.
But they won 4 or something against.
Aye.
And that does it. That's us covered all the games. So
Let's
we've
get
got
some
some
questions.
Twitter questions.
There's an interesting one really quickly which I want to touch on. Before I get your answers, I want to give this a bit of context.
Oh, by the way, can we just quickly talk about football kit season's coming up? New kits are going to be getting leaked, released over the next couple of months or so. You know me, big football kit man, love them. I know it's not Scottish football related, but how nice is that Dortmund shirt?
Yeah, it's
mate,
nice.
that's sexy.
I managed to, it's sold out in like 10 minutes. I managed to get it.
I'm really excited for the kits because I'm finally getting
I got one.
We're getting a green and purple away kit, which
80
I
quid,
cannot
mate,
wait for.
80 quid. That'll be nice.
Oh, because I love horror show away kits.
No.
I love away kits that are out there. My favourite away kits ever, the Dunfermline red and blue one I've got, and the green and purple old one I've got. Anyway, so I'm excited for that. Anyway,
my favourite Celtic away shirts are like shite.
the Steve Clark room asks, and this is a really interesting question. So
The Steve Clark what?
Steve Clark room, it's a Twitter account. They just focus
Wonder
on
what that's
things.
like, the room. What do you think?
I
It's
remember
got
Steve
chains or
Clark's.
something and all that.
Oh,
London.
Anyway, so this question is Ryan Jack's out for the Euros. Who takes his place in the squad? So I'm not. We're not guys that have been in the squad recently, so I don't want people to go, "Oh, Kenny McLean might play," because they're in the squad already. Who takes his place in the squad? Now, I want your answer of who you want and who you think, because I think that's two different things.
Aye.
I'll go first. I think it will be Ross McCrory. I would like it to be Billy Gilmore.
I would like it to be Kenny McLean.
It's got Kenny McLean.
Hopes it.
It's just because you normally don't listen, so I generally thought you hadn't listened.
I would like. I think I would like it to be Gilmore. I don't know what he's going to do because I feel like there's a lot of different possibilities now for him in terms of does he bring in another defensive midfielder? You know, it's weird because I see him bringing in Turnbull, but then again that doesn't fit the mould of what Jack is. I want it to be Gilmore. I'll leave it there. I don't know what I think. I don't know what I expect.
See this thing about how everyone goes Ryan Jack is Scotland's defensive midfielder, right? It doesn't really sit right with me because a lot of what Ryan Jack does for Scotland that's good is with the ball.
Aye,
it's not. He's not just a guy that sits there and like tackles
I know,
people.
of course, no, but
that's what Ross McCrory is.
It's just a simple
Right,
term.
but it's what people tell me that Billy Gilmore can't do what Ryan Jack does for Scotland. I
Like,
think
we're
it's
not playing
completely
football
wrong.
manager. A lot of people are going to go there and go, the fucking.
But there will be people out there who say,
You know,
"Oh, Ryan
Gilmore-
Jack's a defensive mid, so Billy Gilmore can't do it." Nonsense.
Gilmore won't have the experience of Jack in terms of maybe
No,
positional sense
but
and such, but
if you
he'll
don't
go and
lose-
get on the ball, and that's
Exactly,
what Scotland were missing in the last
exactly.
one. For all McTominay was great, McGinn was good.
McTominay
We're still
and
needing someone to go and get the ball.
McTominay and McGinn are too direct. They both want to run with
They're
the
different
ball.
players, aye.
You need somebody in there who's
And I
going to
think
take the
McGregor's
ball
better for
and
that.
use it really quickly. And see this thing about if you don't lose the ball, you don't have to win it back.
Aye.
And there's not a Scottish player I think out there that I've seen that will be able to keep and use the ball as good as he does. The way he does it is phenomenal.
I
He
agree.
just gets it and he uses it. You don't have to bother about winning it back if you don't lose it in the first place. So yeah, for me that's who I would like.
Mine's is Gilmore,
But
but I would love to see Gilmore, Turnbull, and Patterson in that.
This
squad.
is the good thing about having potentially 26 in the squad rather than 23 is that you might get some of these guys. I think it will be Ross McCrory because he's called him up before when Jack got injured. So.
And to be fair, Ross McCrory, if they are looking for somebody who
And that's what I think Steve Clark will
defensive-minded,
look for.
he's got that.
Before we move on to the next question, I know it's pure out of nowhere, but there's a poor bloke for Bournemouth, right? A poor bloke for Bournemouth. Who,
A what?
A poor bloke
Oh,
from
right.
Bournemouth. Sounds like you're starting a shite joke. It's a poor bloke from
Aye.
Bournemouth. Right, so I put, somebody put up the clip for me for the start of the season. Like, oh, Balogun, who, blah, blah. And they're saying, as requested, at Ryan Fitzsimons, clear enough for you now. And it's not me. Some poor bastard from Bournemouth has
Oh,
been
really?
signed in it.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Some poor bastard
what
from Bournemouth
what
got
a
the same
shame.
name.
Aye,
Ah,
what a
it's a
shame. What a shame.
Yeah.
He's getting it stinking.
Okay,
I've seen people, somebody else has replied to it like at the same guy, like, fucking get yourself a shark, keep your clown or something. I'm like, it's not even him, man, poor guy.
I need to really think about how I do these questions because a lot of my stuff we cover anyway. So a lot of people ask about Champions League and Fiorentino Perez. It's Florentino, not Fiorentino. I don't know why I'm calling him Fiorentino, but anyway. Are 16 to 21-year-olds real fans?
No, I hate it.
They're just
I hate
fake.
It. I fucking hate the game. You see what Florentino's came out and said, this is not a league for the rich, it's a league to save
football. Yeah, he says football will be dead in 4 years, 3 years.
Absolutely.
2024 it did by anyway.
Absolutely clean. Right, but it's time for the Talk Scottish Football quiz. Do you know what we need? We need like a... What are you doing?
A wee jingle.
I've got all my graphics for the Celtic Thunder. I've got names for them. So
Fed up hearing about Celtic Thunder, to be honest.
So like the quiz is called the If You Know Your History quiz because of the whole If You Know Your
Right, I
History.
get the point.
And then we've got the call-in one where it's to beat the pundit. It's called But Can They Play? That's the But Can They Play quiz.
And this has
Right, continue. Can we get the quiz?
We need a name.
I'm about to phone that guy for Bournemouth and get him to replace you, man.
We need a name for the quiz. What can the quiz be?
Well, we'll put that out to listeners.
There you go. What are we calling the quiz? Emilio Quizagiri.
No,
No,
that's not happening
No,
either.
but
Jesus,
Right,
that's
okay.
diabolical.
As always, it'll be David against Dave. 1 week, I'm going to get you to do this so I can actually play. Because I want to play. Because I can play. But
the fucking questions.
who won last time?
Me.
Aye.
You. So, David, set A or set B, mate.
Set B.
You done A last week and
Aye,
it
set.
And
was a hell of
and
a
this
show.
penalty.
It was 1-0.
It was thank God for the dugouts
Oh,
in Aberdeen.
you'll be happy you've picked set B. I'll tell you that for man. Right, are you ready, Dave, to kick us off in the Talk Scottish Football penalty shootout quiz?
Do this.
There's a name there.
Why is it a penalty?
I wait, look
shootout?
at the camera there.
Because
Face
well,
that way.
why is it a penalty shootout? Because you have 5 shots each and then the winner wins.
Like, ask the fucking questions. Really, I'm for fall asleep here.
Right.
If anybody's still watching, fair play, because I'd have switched off by now.
How many assists did Kieran Tierney get against the Faroe Islands in the 4-0
that's an easy question.
victory?
Come on, Div.
How many assists did Tierney get against the Faroe Islands in the 4-0
Come on,
victory?
It's either 4-0, was it?
Ah, 4-0.
3.
3 assists, correct. That's spot on. David, to make it 1-0. Former Hearts youngster, Aaron Hickey, plays for which Italian club?
Bologna.
Bologna, that's correct. 1-0. Nice, good, quick start. Which, David, here we go.
Normally takes us 5 questions to get one
I
right
know,
each.
exactly.
Which English Championship club attempted to sign Kevin Nisbet in January?
Easy, mate.
Birmingham.
Birmingham, that's the right answer. Well done. 2-1 to Div. A good start here. 3 for 3. Can we make it 4 for 4? Which club did I'm calling you Div now. Fuck that, David. Which club did Stephen Glass manage prior to becoming Aberdeen manager?
Atlanta United second team.
Yes, I'll give you that. Atlanta United 2.
Well, 2
Right.
second team.
So there you go. You can have
You'll
that.
give me that. Oh, nice. You're very generous of you.
2. What a start. Right, okay. This could be a banana peel now. This could be the one.
Hate banana peels.
Which manager has spent the most time at one club in Scottish football and is currently still there?
In the full of Scottish
In the
football.
whole of the top 4 leagues.
Oh.
Who's been at their club for the most amount of time?
That's naughty, innit?
It is naughty, I would never get it.
I think I've got it. No, yeah, I do have it. I definitely
Yeah.
have it.
Do you think you have
Yes, I
Oh
definitely
my
have
god, is this guy still the manager of him?
Yes.
He still is.
Obviously.
I
But
almost got
I'm
it
asking myself, I'm thinking of the Queen's Park manager for some reason, if it still is him.
Is Queen's Park manager on Ray McKinnon?
I was going to say Gus
He's not been
McPherson, but he's...
it. Why are you helping him?
Is he long gone? Aye.
Gus
Gus McPherson manages Morton now.
Right.
And Gus McPherson left Queen's Park like 3 years ago.
Aye, sorry Queen's Park.
Is that,
I bet he regrets it now, because
Aye,
Queen's
aye.
Park wages probably decent. No, it's
Stop
not my
helping
answer,
me.
but no my answer.
But
Fucking helping him.
I don't know.
You
Actually,
don't
don't
know.
know. I'm
What's your
guessing it
guess?
isn't like in the Prem.
no,
So
not in the
You
Premier.
passed it up by. It's
Because,
Jim
aye.
McInally.
Jim McInally, correct.
Peterhead.
There you
Been
go,
there for like
Peter
10
Reid.
years.
As your
that's
answer.
actually... Aye.
October the 7th, 2011.
10 year. Oh, I'm good. I'm fucking quite good at
That
this,
is.
you know.
Well done.
10 year.
That's
Right.
decent.
David, which player currently has the most assists in League One?
Oh my days.
Oh, good question. It's the most assists in League One.
Most assists in League
Hey,
One.
Joe Cardle. No.
Correct.
Yes, my man.
Joe
Love
Cardle.
to
It's
see
Joe
it.
Tremendous.
Cardle.
Super Joe loves it.
Right, okay. Div, how many Celtic players are currently on loan at Queen's Park? You don't have to give me the players. But
I
how
know that
many-
there's one. I know one. Luca Connell.
Right, okay.
So, oh Jesus.
How many players are currently on loan at Queen's Park?
Well, the big man didn't he took care. Well, he says Disney Willie Hockey. He's involved there, so there'll be a fair amount. Is it more than one? Probably. I'm gonna go 3.
Correct, it is
Boom.
3. That's your answer.
Who are they?
Luca Connell, Patterson and Mullen.
No, alright, okay.
That's
I would have said 1. I wasn't sure there was anyone.
There you go. There's 3 currently on loan at
You
Queen's.
didn't know the Wally Hockey
Well, a
affiliation?
massive shout out, by the way, to Matthew Duff, who continuously makes these quizzes for us.
Because we're too lazy to do it.
He's been brilliant. He does well
Right.
because it's not like he goes online. He does them. He makes
That's
them. He
good,
sits for
aye.
45 minutes. He makes them. He does it for the Celtic Fund. He does it for this. But last week he did make a howler.
He did make a
He
howler.
made a
last
howler
week.
on one of ours. So, you know, he's trying to make up for it. So let's hope he's
Is
right.
this for the win then?
Yes, it will be
No.
to make it 5.
I've got 3.
This is your chance.
This is your 5th
5-3.
question.
So this is the one.
This is for the
Oh,
win.
you've got 2.
Have I?
Oh, you got
I've
3.
got
Sorry,
3.
you got 3. Aye, this is your chance to make it, what, 4-3. You could get
Is
a
it?
4 from 4. This could be your 4 from
No.
4 here.
Ah.
Aye, because you've
You
got...
went first?
No, I went second.
No, you went
Did you?
second. Aye, aye.
Sorry.
Aye, try.
Sorry.
Aye, watch yourself. How many Premiership
It's
clubs
3 each.
are in the Scottish Cup quarter-finals?
4.
What? No! 8 is the correct answer, I have, you know.
I can't believe I got that wrong.
Oh, yes! Oh,
Why did I...
that is a fucking own goal.
Oh,
Sorry,
terrible.
sensitive subject.
No,
you go.
thanks.
That is...
Unlucky, son.
I can't believe I got that question wrong.
Unlucky.
Oh,
Unlucky. As soon as you said that, I was like...
it's because it's 4 quarter-finals. Oh, dearie.
Oh, Jesus Christ almighty.
Oh, dear. Right, well, here we go.
In the name
Here
of
we
the Father,
go. Div.
Sorry? Where are you going with that?
and the Holy Toast.
Which player left League One
Jesus.
to go to Middlesbrough in 2010-11 for a record league fee of £200,000?
Andy Halliday.
Andy Halliday.
Boom!
Correct, Andy
Talk
Halliday's the
to me,
correct
mummy!
answer. There you go. And finally, to take it
Don't know why I say
this is
mummy.
to take it to the
Can't believe I got it wrong.
tiebreaker question.
I know, mate, if he doesn't get this, I won.
Right, you ready?
4-3 to me.
What is the name
Nah,
of
it's got-
What is the name of Stennismuir Stadium?
Oh, thank God for that. Local view.
Local View Park.
I That's disgusting.
You only would have got that because the SYT. If that was
Right,
like
I know,
another
that's what I was
random
like,
lower
no,
league team, you'd
I
have
was
been
a
trouble.
I've been to hundreds of lower league grunts.
Aye. What's Forfers ground called?
Meadowbank.
No.
Well, he asked me something else. I was like,
fantastic.
the Forford ground.
That'll be the fourth.
Oakleview Park is correct, which means we take it to the tie-breaker
Thank
question.
Christ for that.
Because you fucked up your answer second. You fucked up big. That was a poor use of one.
That did really
That
well.
was
there,
basic mathematics.
Just the quarterfinals.
They gave a higher or lower. They gave a higher or lower for the tiebreaker question. You know how higher or lower works, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
You can be lower, but if
Yeah.
you're higher, you fucked it.
Right.
So the closest
Bring
to
me a
Right, so I'm getting a number. Right.
give me a number, okay?
Right.
How many goals did Lawrence Shankland score in the championship last season?
He's going to know this because he'll know exactly what
Do you
Nisbet
think you'll know
got.
exactly what number it is?
Aye, he will because Nisbet doesn't
know.
matter.
He
I
doesn't.
don't know.
He says he doesn't.
It is 23.
23.
Are you remembering that the season was shortened? It wasn't a
So
first.
he's answered now.
Oh no,
David?
I might went after the.
Is this the same? Oh, okay, so let me
The
just
answer.
let me
You
think.
you can't be higher, you can be lower, but the closest wins, of course.
What do you mean I can't be
You
higher?
can't be one higher. If you're one higher, you've lost.
How does that work?
Do you
Have
need
you
to
ever
go to
watched
the
higher or
I
lower?
thought you had to be the
Do
closest.
you ever watch higher or lower?
No.
If you can be as low as you like, but you've got to be closest. But if you're higher, you fucked it. You can't be higher. Christ
So,
almighty, classic British television.
so let me think here.
Classic.
Let me
Classic.
think really quickly. So,
It's no 4, by the way.
so the league, the last game I went to was 19th of March. So that would have been right. So there was probably about 7 or 8 games left.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably played 28 games.
Oh no, fuck this. And it's like 16.
I'm gonna go 21.
12.
21.
Yeah.
Correct answer.
It's 18 in it.
Which makes you a winner today. Sharp div.
Oh, what?
24 is the correct answer. And you say 23.
Oh!
was your winner
That's his
today.
number as well, I think, isn't it?
They have 24 goals last
Unlucky, mate.
season.
That was actually one of the better quizzes.
That was good. That
was
was
a good
really
one.
good, dramatic. That's what the Super League is all about. Drama, entertainment.
Enough of that. You've just fucked it. You've just ruined the whole moment.
I'm fuming.
Fuming.
I did so well in that quiz too.
No, you didn't really.
No,
You
I
fucked
think
it.
I done a bit better.
You fucked the simplest.
I won it.
Yeah.
You fucked the easiest question.
I know.
Fucking hell.
Oh well.
Well, well done, Div. You're this week's winner. You've took the crown off of David. Unlucky, son. Unlucky. That does it though. That's us. Wrapped up a good show.
He's devastated.
Devastated. Look at him.
It's alright, you can try again.
So,
In the next one.
got nothing left.
I've got nothing left. Oh, that's a shame. It's a crying shame.
So back tomorrow with a live.
Back tomorrow with a live.
McGinley is the only confirmed attendee so far. I don't know who else has got on it. Probably 2 out of 3 of us, I'd imagine, will be on that.
Oh, we'll see. We've got time. Let's not spoil
You're
it.
working, so maybe it's not going to be you.
I'm
I'll be on that
I'm
tomorrow,
not working
McGinley,
on it.
and
I'm
maybe you
playing
or maybe
fives.
somebody else.
I'm playing 5s.
Oh, I'm patching the 5s tomorrow.
Well, I don't know if I'm on actually. Right, that's us. That does it. Let's just end the show. Any final thoughts before we stop the microphone?
No, that's my dad phoning me. Shall we see you soon?
Aye, go.
Hello, right, listen, we're recording a podcast right now. I've just answered the phone to you, so would you like to say something on the podcast? Okay. You had a chance to be on the podcast there and you're turning it down. Just to say whatever you want. I don't know, it's up to you. Hold on, let me put you on speaker. Right, hold on. Right, you're on speaker. Don't say anything ridiculous.
No, it's alright. I'm busy.
Oh, for God's sake! He's absolutely.
He's done the Winston and still
I'm busy.
By the way, because here's the thing, right? If I had told him before, he'd have been like, "Oh, I'll come on the podcast," and now he's had the chance. Oh, that's a nightmare.
Love it.
Busy.
You go watch this.
You'll watch it. I'll clip this to him.
I love it for seeing you.
Busy. Somebody find a clip of Winston and still game.
I'm busy. Oh, that was great.
That's funny.
Lads, make
Up
sure
the
to
road.
like and subscribe if you're on Spotify. Make sure to follow the podcast network. And I will be back on Tuesday, but we'll also be here tomorrow for the live shows we mentioned. But until then,
Is there no one uploading Thursday, huh?
that's what I'm saying. Back.
We're never going to end
Tuesday?
this show.
Did I?
Aye, doesn't matter. See you later.
That's it. Done.
That's it, innit?
See you.